Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Yomi. My name is Yomi and I make college and art related videos. So for today's video, I'm going to be telling you how college is going. I'm going to be getting real with you guys, trying to give you a real perspective of how college has been for me. The ups, the downs, the struggles, the joyfulness that I've had here. So I'm going to take my glasses off. I got new glasses, but they have a weird glare with the ring light, so I'm going to be taking those off for now. So I didn't have any bullet points set apart for this video beforehand. I just wanted to be as real as I could with you, thinking on the spot. So I'm not gonna lie, college has been difficult. It's been difficult moving all the way from Florida to the state of Rhode Island. The weather is just so different. It's not cold yet, but it will soon get really cold, which I'm worried about. I have winter gear that I have and winter gear that I'm gonna buy. But that's definitely going to be a struggle because Florida is very hot. Rhode Island is colder than New York and it snows. So the weather is just so temperate here in Rhode Island. But yeah, the course load, I took a lot of AP classes in high school, so I'm used to taking a heavy course load. It's just the day is structured so differently. So I'm attending the dual degree program at Brown University and Rhode Island School of Design. Brown University is an elite institution, an Ivy League school, and Rhode Island School of Design is an art institution, an art school, and they're 2 minutes apart from each other. So I live at Rhode Island School of Design, RISD right now, and next year I'll live at Brown, and the program is 5 years, and when I graduate I'll have 2 degrees. So I never would have imagined that I would have gone to art school or that I would have gone to an Ivy League school. That's never something that I thought I could do or something that I thought I would do. And it's just very interesting seeing how different the political climate is from where I am back home from Florida. The way that the students think is just so different, and I'm honestly just not used to it. It can be stressful at times when you're moving to a new environment or to a new state, and I could even imagine a new country, and just everyone thinks differently than you're used to people thinking back home, or even to the ways that you're used to thinking. College is just so more fluid, so much more fluid than most people's home environment. You can do whatever you want at whatever time. You can go wherever you want to. You can hang out with whoever you want to. You can do whatever things you want to do, whether they're good things or whether they're perceived to be bad things. So I'm just not used to that. You have this level of freedom where you can just express yourself however you want to, in many different ways. And it's just eye-opening seeing how people use their freedom to express what they want to express. Yeah, so it is hard because you do see some people who it seems like they're almost being self-destructive, and you want to step in, but at the same time you know, hey, they have the right to do what they want to do, but you don't want them to destroy themselves. And then yeah, it's a crazy environment. Going to art school is probably not what you think it's like. I don't know what other art schools are like, but RISD is 150,000% a hustle culture. People work 24/7. Hey, you want to hang out tonight? Hey, you want to have dinner with me? No, I gotta work. Or people will take food to go because they're always working on their projects, staying up until 3-4 in the morning, pulling all-nighters. I have so many friends that just pull like two or three all-nighters every week. I don't do that. I structure my time in a way that I don't have to do that, and my classes don't have enough work for me to do that. And I also work really quickly, but it's just crazy. Like I'm trying to make sure that I stay healthy while I'm in this environment, because it's so insane how much time and effort people put into their pieces, trying to make sure everything is picture perfect when everything can't be picture perfect. And people are also slaving away at their work when it's only freshman year and they're gonna burn out. So I'm trying to find that balance where I'm still putting in a lot of effort but not burning out, because you still need time for social life. You need time to connect with family through the internet, or just relaxation. I'm trying to stay healthy. I'm trying to make sure I'm eating good. I'm not starving myself. I need to start exercising again. I went on one run in this past 2 months I've been here in college. I'm a freshman, by the way. But yeah, a hustle culture can be very toxic, and that's what I'm used to. Well, I'm not used to being in a hustle culture. I am used to being the hustle culture. I'm used to being the hustler, the person that just stays up late doing assignments. Everything has to be perfect, and my grades, I have to get an A on everything, and I just realized that's not productive, and I'm struggling so much as a human being because I put that pressure on myself beforehand, and now I'm trying to get out of that. But I've thrown myself into a place where the hustle culture is so extreme, and I'm trying to find my balance because I don't want to hustle too much, but also I don't want to be too laid back, because it's a privilege to be at this art institution. It's the hardest art university to get into in the entire United States of America. It had like a 16% acceptance rate this year, and I feel like I should not take advantage of that. And then speaking of Brown University, that's an elite institution. It's a hustle culture as well. I have a lot of friends that are going pre-med, pre-law, even people who aren't doing stuff in the STEM field is just as important. But when you go pre-med or pre-law, definitely pre-med, you need to hustle. You need to make sure you can get into med school. People are just always working hard. They're always putting their best effort into everything, and it's a school with a 5% acceptance rate. So of course it's going to be a hustle culture. But it's not nearly as much of a hustle culture as Rhode Island School of Design. But college has been really hard, and I'm gonna get a little bit deep here about like mental health. It's been hard. Like I said in my previous video, sometimes you go to bed and you're sad and you want to cry. And literally after I filmed that video and I said, oh yeah, I've had friends who've told me, yeah, they went to bed crying, I literally felt like crying like a few nights after that, and I was like, I want to go home. This is hard. I've thought of dropping out so many times, and when I mean seriously, I'm like, can I do this here? Because honestly, like, college is not something that I've wanted to do my whole life. I mean, it's something that's been expected of me, not something that's been forced upon me. I do know a lot of people who are at Brown who their parents want them to be a specific career, and they're pressuring them to be that and pressuring them to major into this specific thing, and that's what they expect of them. My parents are not like that, and I do appreciate that. But I do come from a cultural background, which I did not even realize. I mean, I knew that. So both of my grandfathers were immigrants and came to the United States when they were young. Both of my grandfathers when they were like teenagers or like early adulthood. So coming from a family of immigrants, I did not realize how much that shaped my world. And also, one of my grandfathers came from the Bahamas, another grandfather came from Nigeria. And I did not realize until I came here how much like my cultural identity has shaped my academic life, and how much people of the same ethnicity as me experience the same struggles. Because growing up back home, I identify more so with my Nigerian side because my first and last name, it's my paternal side, and I know more about the culture, and a lot of family in Nigeria, not as much family in the Bahamas, but just Nigeria, like, you know how they say, oh, certain countries in Asia, pressure, pressure, pressure. A lot of Nigerian families are like that as well. So being African, being Nigerian specifically, it has like influenced my academic career so much, and it's like put me in a place where I'm like, if I wasn't Nigerian, would I be where I'm at today? Or if I wasn't from a family of immigrants, where would I be at where I'm at today? And I don't know. And it's like a cultural intellectual crisis, because I'm like, how much of this did I just earn because I worked hard? How much of this did I earn because I was raised to be like this because of my culture? Like, you're a product of your culture. And I just see that, like, you just see so many certain ethnic groups at Brown and at RISD, or even international students from specific countries, and you see like patterns. You see patterns. Like back home, I wasn't used to seeing so many people from this certain ethnic group, but you realize it's not a coincidence that so many people from a certain ethnic group are at your school. And it's just very interesting, and it just makes you think. I don't know, it's just hard to think about. Yeah, it's insane. And also, I have realized that a lot of my Nigerian friends, they want to be doctors or lawyers, specifically doctors. And it's just like, I don't want to be that. And it's like, oh, wow, look at me, I don't want to be a doctor, I'm not good at STEM. So there's been that aspect. But just overall, like, school has been really hard. I've been questioning, well, for this past week has been fine, but I've had so many ups and downs and sadness, bouts of depression, bouts of just, wow, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm literally miles, thousands of miles away from my home, and I don't know what to do. I don't know if this is worth it. Do I really want to spend 12 years of my life going to school for my future career? Is this career that I'm gonna do? Is it what I want to do? Is it ethical? I don't even know. So it's been hard. I've talked about this with many of my friends. I would just recommend getting a support group, and I still have to sign up for the mental health services here that I recommended in my last video. But man, it's been tough. I started realizing my drawing professor, well, I've been thinking about this for a while, but a lot of people in my drawing class would complain. Like, the teacher would assign something, and then the students would be like, oh man, that's a lot of homework. And then when she finally said it, like, because they've been doing this for weeks, she said, you guys have to ask yourself, why are you here? Like, why are you here? Like, it's a lot of work. You knew that beforehand. You got into a really prestigious school. Why are you here? And I've been thinking about that, and I had been thinking about that a little bit beforehand, but even so, since, I'm like, why am I here? Why am I in college? Why did I decide to go to college? Why? Oh, this brings me back to the point that I completely forgot that I was making. Why did I decide to go to college? College is not something that I wanted for myself. It's something that was expected of me because of my grades, because of my supposed intellect that people say that I have. People just have always expected great things from me. And like someone who would go to one of these two schools, of course, people have always expected great things from us. But it's not something that I wanted to do. I remember in my gifted class back in high school, I think maybe the teacher asked, like, in my freshman year, who wants to go to college, or who wants to do this? And everyone raised their hand but me, because it was something expected of me, but it's not something that I wanted to do. Because I don't know, I just didn't really like school. So I'm like at this crossroads, like, do I like, why am I here? Is education worth it? And I talked to many people, and a few people told me it doesn't matter why you're here, you just have to realize that you're here and you got to push through. And I was battling with that a lot. I'm like, I need to know why I'm here, because it's just destroying me, because I'm like, why did I choose to come here? I don't have the same drive as everyone else, because I feel like I'm just like mellowing around, just doing the work because I have to do it, not because I want to do it, or not because I have the passion for my career. I just feel like I'm going through the motions. And I eventually like sided with them and agreed, yeah, I have to do the work. I have to realize, because I want to be an anthropologist, because for my career I need to go to school, I need to go to school. And I need to stop thinking about it, because if I continue thinking about my why, I'm gonna destroy myself, and I'm just gonna talk myself into a hole and just make horrible decisions. Because I was destined for this. I've worked so hard in art my entire life, and this is not the point when I should stop working hard. I've worked so hard in academics my entire life, more specifically in high school. I did not take 5 AP classes 2 years in a row to just decide to drop out. So yeah, like, dropping out, thought of it so many times. The dual degree program, only 19 people were originally accepted out of 696 people that applied. And there's only 15 people in my program that decided to do the dual degree program for my year. So there's only like around 75 dual degree kids in the 5 years, out of like 8,000 kids at Brown undergrad and 2,000 kids undergrad at RISD, so 10,000 kids, or 75 out of 10,000 kids in this special program, and a lot is expected of you. And I've also felt like, oh, like, I can't fail, and I felt like I can't fail because also people are going to assume so many things about me because I'm a legacy student. They're going to be like, oh, he just got in because he's legacy. And there's been a lot of talk about legacy. There's talk about legacy a lot in elite institutions, and I also feel like almost like that I'm not welcome sometimes at Brown, because people talk about legacy so much and make it almost seem like legacy kids didn't deserve to get in. Like, I understand that legacy definitely does give you a foot forward in many schools, but I worked my butt off to get here. You can look at my portfolio. I worked my butt off. You can see my academic career. I worked hard. I took 3 different languages in high school at the same time. I took like 14 AP classes. I busted my butt to get here, and it's just like kind of hard to see like people just like kind of demean you and diminish like your accomplishments because like your parents went to the school. Like for instance, like if both of your parents went to Harvard and you apply to Harvard and get in, I don't think the first assumption should be, oh, it's because your parents went to Harvard. Like you would think if both of your parents went to Harvard, like you would be a pretty good student too, and they would raise you with the resources to be a really good student as well, and would prioritize academics. So that's never in the conversation. It's always, oh, you just got in because your legacy. And then also I feel like I need to succeed because not trying to get like, oh, into race and stuff like that, but because like I'm a black individual, because I'm a black male. Like out in RISD 75% female, and RISD used to be 2% black. Apparently it's like 6% black now, but there's not many black people. And I'm not brown, like there's a decent amount. I don't know the statistics, but anyways, like there's a whole thing with affirmative action in colleges and things of that nature, and people talk about it a lot, and people will just assume that you got into a school because you're black. And yeah, so I feel like, oh, if I don't make it through these 5 years, if I don't graduate, people are gonna be looking at me like, oh, he just got into the school because he's black, or because of this, or because of that. And or if I don't work hard, stereotypes about black people being lazy and things of that nature. So I'm in a burnout mode, and this is one thing that I'm going to tell you guys who are in high school, who are watching this video, who are slaving away. Find time for relaxation, find time for friends, because I did not do that. I just worked, and I burnt out. And I burnt out the middle of, like at the start of quarantine was when I burned out, because COVID pandemic, I didn't see any friends. My classes were all online, and my life went down the drain. And I was taking 5 AP classes, and I just was like, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not doing any of my work. I'm not submitting any more of my assignments. I'm done. I'm not doing school anymore. And I just didn't do anything for like a month. And thankfully my school let me catch up, and I was able to get help and things of that nature. But life was just really bad, and it was really clouded for me, going from being obsessed with academics to deciding I'm not doing this anymore. So after I did that burnout, my senior year, I suffered with like work habits as well, because when I decided that I wasn't going to do that work, I developed that mentality that stayed with me for a while. Like while I still did my work, there were many times when I'm like, oh, that's stupid, I don't want to do that, because I developed that bad mentality that, oh, I don't want to do it. So I'm still working through that now. Like I'm doing all of my assignments, and I did submit all my assignments my senior year as well, but it was hard to get through them. But now, like, it's just like, it's hard to put in the work, because when I burnt out, and I'm still burnt out. I'm still suffering from senioritis, the lack of, or the drive to do work. And also, like, I feel like I didn't really have a childhood like other kids had, just hanging out with friends, going to the movies, doing fun things, playing video games. I never played video games. I read books. I'm sure if I would have begged for video games, I'm sure they would have got me some. But yeah, that's what all other kids and boys my age did. They played video games. I read books. Kids hung out, went to movies, went to parties, had fun with each other. Didn't do that. Occasionally, every once in a while, once in a blue moon, I did that. So now, like, I'm in this environment where I can do whatever I want, in the sense that I can hang out with whoever I want to. I can go to lunch with whoever I want to, and they live right around the corner from me. And that's what I want to do. I don't want to do my schoolwork. I just want to hang out with people, because I'm not used to this. I'm not used to like having that companionship with people. And because I've just been a robot for the past 3 years. I've been a robot. Actually, more so since like 7th grade, I've been a robot, just working hard in school, and that's been my life. School has been my life. School has been like my idol, which it shouldn't have been, which is bad and has caused me so much harm. So guys, please don't burn yourself out. Life will be so much harder for you in the future if you do that. And I don't recommend taking 5 AP classes at one time. It doesn't matter if you can. Life is not just about school. Life is very short. You'll only be on this earth for, average if you live in the US is like, I don't know, around 60 or 70 years in that time frame. But life is short, life is hard, and you don't want to spend 20 of your years of life just focusing on school and not spending time with people. And that's like a third of your life that you literally just wasted, because people die in their 50s and their 60s and their 40s and their 20s, and you just wasted your life just doing school. And I'm playing the catch-up game. Like I want to watch TV now and do things and have fun with friends and hang out with people, but the thing is, now I'm in this hustle culture where now it's not acceptable to not hustle. So I'm supposed to be hustling, but I want to have fun and I want to relax and want to play with friends. So I'm having that struggle of adjusting, and it's just hard because studio classes for Rhode Island School of Design for freshmen, they're like 7.5 hours long. So Monday, Wednesday, and Friday I have studio class. So I wake up at 6 in the morning. This is my choice. A lot of my friends don't do this. They wake up at like 7 or 7:30. I'll wake up at 6 in the morning. It takes me 30 minutes to get ready for the morning. Have 30 minutes chill time. 7 o'clock I go straight to breakfast, eat for like 30 minutes, go back to my dorm, get ready for class, then walk to class. Class starts at 8. We're there until 12. Lunch is at 12. We rush to lunch. We get back from lunch by 1. Class starts again, and class ends at like 4:30. If the professor has more work she wants us to work, they want to talk about, or things we have to do, class will end at like 5 or 5:30. So then you get back, you go to dinner, and then you work until like late at night or early in the morning, or even pulling an all-nighter, and then you just repeat that cycle, and it's just insane. It's literally insane, and I'm not used to this. Of course, like, classes in high school are 7 hours long. I mean, the day is 7 hours long, so it's like the same day, but it's just, you don't have time for anything else. You don't have time to chill or to have fun, and like, it's lacking that aspect. And for a lot of kids here, work is their life, and I just wish that I could, I don't know. It's just really hard, and I'm reconciling with the fact that art school is not something that I wanted to go to. I just wanted to go to a regular liberal arts school. Originally what I wanted to go to was like a small liberal arts Christian university, inconspicuous, that maybe nobody knew about. And then now I'm at this Ivy League school, and one of the best art schools in the world, one of the best like universities in the world, Brown University, one of the best art schools in the world, RISD. And this is not what I expected. I did not expect to thrust myself into a hustle culture. I wanted to live inconspicuously, not do mini clubs in college, just relax, because I had done so much in high school, and that's not what I'm doing. I'm just throwing myself every which way. I thought I would go to a liberal arts school. I did not expect, like, I expected to like double major in an art major, or probably more so minor in an art major. So I did not expect to go to art school. I didn't really know what art school was. So I'm also reconciling with the fact that everybody like who busted their butt to get into this art school, I busted my butt too, in the sense that like my portfolio, like art is my passion. So whenever like I had free time, I was doing art. So I busted my butt too. But these people, like RISD was like, wow, this is the best art school in the US. They want to go there. They're happy to be here. They're busting their butt. Their parents are paying a lot of money for them to be here, and they're making the most of it, because this is what they've been dreaming for years, to go to RISD. I wasn't dreaming for this for years. I wasn't dreaming to go to art school for years. Everyone else is grinding so hard. Part of the reason they're grinding so hard is because this has been their dream for so long, and this has not been my dream. So I'm still computing the fact that I'm in art school. Like, sometimes I'll just sit in the cafeteria and I'll be like, where am I? Like, I'm in art school. Like, how did this happen? Like, what? Art school? Like, how did I end up in art school? Like, of course I've been an artist my whole life, but it's just crazy. And also, like, art school, like, I've been through periods where I've started hating the whole institution of art and elite art and just everything. I've just decided, like, what is the point? Why am I doing this? I've gone through points where I've hated my art, and I'm like, I hate drawing. I just don't want to draw again in my life. And I've only been here for 2 months. And then I've also gone through like, I'm still going through this period, like, where in my art history class, like, some of the things we talk about, like, literally when people make examples like, oh, drawing a dot on a piece of paper, painting a dot on a piece of paper, and people going to galleries to see it, and it's selling for $1 million, and people calling it art, and it being by a famous artist, and it having this deep meaning. Like, there's so many things that we learn about like that in art history, famous art pieces, and it just makes me mad. It makes me mad that like you just scribbled on a piece of paper and then we're analyzing this for 20 minutes and its impact on history and how it challenged the social norms. And then these people are so famous when there are so many talented artists out there. Like there are so many talented artists, dozens of thousands of talented artists in the world. And why isn't their work in a museum, but this person's work is in a museum? Like literally, I can make a piece of art and then someone decides that it's important. And then all of a sudden, my work is famous and I'm a famous artist and I'm someone who's important in the art world. When it was just because someone said it wasn't important. Like my anatomy can be horrid, everything could be horrid, but then people could say, oh wow, it's like, it's just so debonair, and it's like it's a questioning of the social class, of reality, of all this dichotomy of the social realism, and it's just stuff that doesn't even make sense. And it just makes me hate the whole art establishment, which is very like cliquey. And if you know anything about art history, even if you haven't taken an art history class, you know like critics shun art, or like this is not art, this cannot be shown in a museum. This is a disgrace to being called art. This is real art. Only this can be art. Anything else cannot be art. And that's what art has been like over the centuries, over the years, over the thousands of years and decades and things of that nature. I realize that, and it's just hard for me to take art seriously when I see like these art like historians, these people who are doing my lectures are so ingrained in these scribbles on a piece of paper. Like that's metaphorical, scribbles on this piece of paper. So it's just hard for me to reconcile that. And I've seen art in a new light too. I've realized that art needs to be meaningful. Like obviously if you're just doing it for you, it doesn't need to be meaningful. A lot of time art challenges the social norms, and I've realized that I do want to challenge the social norms in my art, and I want it to be more meaningful, especially the type of cultural art that I want to do and the way I want to change people's perspectives on how people live around the world. I've also realized that I have a responsibility to educate people, and when I'm showing someone a piece of art and this is the first time that they're learning about a culture and I'm realizing that this culture exists, that I need to make sure that I'm representing the culture correctly, because this is how they will think about the culture for the rest of their lives, or until they hear about that culture again. And if I misinform someone, that could be harmful as a whole. So I've learned a lot of good things. I've learned about time management. I've learned about saying no, like no, I can't hang out, or no, I don't want to go to this party, or no, I'm not comfortable doing this in college. And I feel like that's good, because there are a lot of times when people will want you to do things and you may not be comfortable doing them. They may not align with your morals or what you think. So you don't have to fall into peer pressure. There are a lot of things that people think socially, politically, whatever, in whatever sphere that you're thinking about, that I don't agree with, and you can just look the other way. Doesn't mean that you hate the other person, but yeah, so many of my views have been challenged. I know I've talked a lot on this video, but this is kind of just like going through how these past few weeks have been. It's been really hard managing my time. I like do my assignments like as soon as I can usually, but like when my professor's like, oh, start studying for your midterm, that's in 2 weeks. And then my other professor's like, oh, this reading that's like 150 pages, that's due next week. So how many pages do I read a day for that book? When exactly do I start studying for the midterm? How many hours a day? And when you have all of these different things that are due at different time periods, like it's hard to manage your time in that sense. Honestly, like before I got to Brown, I was wondering if I wanted to plot myself in this school, or if I knew what I was getting into, if I wanted to be like part of this like quote unquote like elite or elitist culture, because it's just there's just so much elitism at this school, and it's just insane. Just from financially, people here, there are just so many people who have so much money, so many people whose parents just choose these huge things, even people whose parents are celebrities here. And like so many people here are just like so not financially stable, but are like so rich. And I'm just not used to being around people who are super rich and like kind of being the outcast. That's been really hard. And just like grade wise and academic wise, you're competing against the valedictorians and salutatorians and class presidents and vice presidents of their schools. Like everyone's like that. So it's just like, if everyone you're talking to was valedictorian, then where do you stand? And there's just a whole Ivy League experience that people literally will die for. People will do anything for. People will even like cheat for their kids to get into these schools. People will donate so much money so their kids will get into these schools, and it's just crazy. Just wow, it's insane. So that's pretty much all I'm gonna say for this video. College has had so many ups and downs. I'm still here now, still grinding, still studying. I'm gonna try and make it through these 5 years and graduate through the Brown gates and the RISD gates. Or RISD doesn't have gates, but wherever we graduate at RISD, I'm gonna make it, and I'm gonna keep on persevering. Life is hard. Life is gonna have ups and downs. Don't just think after orientation week, wow, life is gonna continue being happy like this. I'm gonna continue being friends with these same people. There will be drama, there will be hurt, there will be relationship trauma. I haven't been in a relationship here yet, but yeah, there's just a lot of deep stuff that you'll go through and that you'll experience being away from home, and it will be hard, but you just gotta persevere. So that's all I have for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to follow my Instagram to see more of my art at its_yomi, its_yomi, and please subscribe if you want to see more videos, and make sure to hit the likes up button and comment video suggestions, what you liked about this video, if this video touched you or taught you anything about life or just college in general, or if it helped you analyze yourself more, because I want to know. Because if my video impacted you, I want to know that, because it really changes my day when I see that my video has really helped someone, because I'm not a big YouTuber, I don't have a lot of subscribers, but it really brings joy to me when I realize that I've helped somebody, or that I've that I've made someone feel good about themselves or something like that. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. See ya until next time.